And I'm going to honor your belief system, even though it may not go anywhere near mine, because my allowing you to believe what you believe is the only way that I can believe what I have to believe. Because if we're going to go out there and we're going to turn and we're going to get these skinheads and shut them down, well, wait a minute. The same authority that shut those skinheads down can shut me down. So I have to let everybody have their own opinion and worship that opinion, because our Creator created us all equal rights. We all have equal rights. And who am I to judge? I can't judge. So if I understand that, and then I also understand that there is a top-down on every government in this planet. There's top-down, top-down. We elect somebody who's not going to do anything for us. He then does things against us and lies to us, and we worship him, and we don't hold anybody accountable. It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing that you can do. I'm going to hire you to do a job. I'm not going to give you the parameters of what I want done, and if you don't do it right, I'm going to pay anyway. So that's the way government works. There are three ways we spend money. If you and I have our own money in our own hand and we're going in to purchase something, we're going to get the absolute best deal. We're going to get the best quality and the best value for our money. Then if Richard wants to give me 50 bucks and say, hey, Jared, would you go get me a shirt? Okay, Richard. Now, Richard, well, I want to still be good for Richard, but I'm not going to spend the time to buy him a shirt that I would, so my 50 bucks that I would spend on his shirt, I would get a better deal. But if I buy him, hey, Richard, is this okay? That's what I got you. Too bad. But if we take up a collection and everybody puts in the collection right here today, and we got $100, and we're going to go buy this $100 shirt for somebody who wins the lottery here, how much time am I going to spend looking for that shirt? It's not my money, and I'm not going to use it. I'll get the biggest piece of junk on the planet. It's $100, I'm running low on time, I got to be back to do this thing. So that's the way our government works. The government can't spend money efficiently. So they throw it away, they throw it at things, i.e., you already know about the $700 million they wasted for the new Obamacare thing that doesn't work. Well, all we're going to do if we take our Constitution and bring it up to date is we're going to enable that. Because our Constitution immediately gives all the authority to the politicians. In Texas, they'll be good politicians, don't doubt, but they're still politicians. And there'll be money that can be thrown at something, and. So that really doesn't work. And then when somebody does do something, if you look in the Texas Republic of Texas or the state of Texas, what authority do the people have to go wrong? None. How many of you have seen the video where they do the voting in the State House? Okay, those of you who haven't, what you need to do is go to Google and Google voting Texas Congress YouTube. And you'll see everybody going around and pushing everybody else's buttons when they vote. Looking to see somebody and they'll reach over and they'll push this guy's button. It's against their rules, but nobody holds them accountable. Oh, hi, you've been there. It's against the rules, but nobody holds them accountable. So we as a people have no way of holding our government accountable. So if we do what we want to do, we're going to have to change that system because it doesn't give the people any right. It disenfranchises the people the moment you elect your elected representative. So if we understand natural law, and natural law again is equal representation for rights, my rights, your rights are all equal, but the most important part of making a success in life and having a life well lived is the right of property. My property you cannot take away from me. I'm one to tell you that all my property has been taken away. Everything. Because I was on the wrong side of the game. I'm a slow learner. Natural law, the most important part of freedom, and that's what Texas is all about, is property, the right to my property. If you can come and take it and tax it anytime you want, that's not good. So my motivation to go out and work is less, my fear is great, my ability to create is diminished, my ability to interact with people is diminished. So if I look at a government, what I would do would say, you know what, historically, freedom has always thrived when there was no government. Freedom has always thrived when there was no government. And then people say, well, we have to have a government because everybody has always had a government. So why wouldn't we have a government? Well, here, let's do this. We'll design this. Okay, that's where we are today. That's the problem. So what would happen if we took a government and designed it at the local level? Remember House on the Prairie? Where they'd sit and watch TV? Well, we were watching the TV. They didn't have TV. But the community would talk about, what about this, what about that? And the community gets together and do it. So the real, true governments that have held up have always been the highest amount of prosperity and the greatest amount of freedom have always been at the transition of the fall of governments before the quote-unquote new government is established. And then once the new government gets established, the game is then to be at the top of the pyramid and get control and make sure that you get a piece of everything that happens. Make sense? Yeah. So if I can do it at the city level, I have total control of my future. If I don't use paper money, I have total control of my future. So the Constitution in Texas will state no paper money. Guess what it says in the American Constitution? No paper money. That didn't work, did it? Everything they said, we're doing. Everything they said they couldn't do, they are doing. Everything they said we can do, we can't do. We can't even have a voice and voice our opinion, because if it's a wrong opinion, we go to jail, they shoot us, anything. But they will. We're politically incorrect, and it's a crime. So they'll take us to court and we'll spend $200,000 just to get the case thrown away, and guess who won? So if I'm in a city and I have a county and I reduce the government of Texas to a county, and there's plenty of counties in Texas for everybody to find the county they like, and everything is run at the county level and people are held accountable because they're going to take an oath of office, and treason has always been, if I violate my oath of office, that is treason. But the Constitution says the only form of treason is that you help the enemy and there has to be a witness. So I can go break my word all day and all night and not be held accountable. Well, we make up our mind. But my dream is that we understand how to do this at the county level. And Steve Berryman over there, when I started this, I bumped into Steve and I bumped into Robert Wilson, and they said, you need to look at this material. And so I said, okay, I am, but right now I'm busy. I have to read all these books so I can get my speech made up. Well, I got into the material and I said, holy cow, I could have saved 4 books over here and 3 books over here because it's all here. And I understand how it works, and I can go historically and have every reference where it has worked. I don't need judges doing this. I don't need politicians doing this. I don't need. If I'm in a free trade market, which is the way America got started. It got started the way Texas got started, in a free trade market. Everything was going, and then there was prosperity. People start coming, they go to work. The ones that don't go to work starve to death, and everybody leaves. And the people who want to work stay. People can't come in to get a handout in the free market system, nor can they come in to get a handout under natural law. Because natural law says you're entitled to what you earn. You earn your property, you get to keep your property. You don't get any property, which is money, real estate, goods, and you don't get anything. So they proved that back when the Pilgrims came at Thanksgiving. The story of 2 years they were worked as a co-op. Everybody was, shared the wealth. Well, the ones that didn't want to work didn't want. For 2 years, they almost starved to death. And then in they came and said, we're going to change the rules. I'm going to give you each a plot of ground. Each of you get a plot of ground. And you have to till it yourself or you don't eat. Guess what happened to the productivity? Shoot, tired. That's why people come to America, because they have the dream. They don't understand it's all a phony dream. Because we rob from one to give to another, and we make stories about it. So all in all, what we have to do is take a look at something that will work and learn how to do it, because I guarantee you it's not taught in school. It will never be taught in school. Today, they're teaching the new math, which is the core concepts, core, whatever it is. But wouldn't you love to be the first one to ride in an airplane that was engineered by a core concept mathematician? Before you leave the ground, the wings will fall off. You get 2 feet off the ground, the engines will come off, and then the seatbelts won't work. You're dead. And that's the American system today, is shoddy everything, and you pay, I win. So nature has always provided that whenever man is challenged, he always rises to the challenge if he owns his own property. So what we want to look at is, when it comes to law has always been, in America, before they got the big government going, always been at the county level. Because at the county level, everybody has a sense of value for their family. They're protecting their family, they're protecting their property. So they're going to make sure that certain laws are obeyed in that town and certain behavior is accepted and other behavior is not. So I can then, as long as I'm not depriving somebody of their liberty, I can make sure that everybody is in accord with what we want to do. And it's like the little house on the prairie. What we do in the county is we assign different, I'm going to use the word precincts, and in those precincts, there are groups of people who make the decisions in that precinct. But they don't shove it upstairs to the governor. They keep it at the precinct, and they name one person to handle that particular responsibility. And that person is responsible and reports to the people of that community. Now they have a voice in their government, don't they? Yes, no? Of course they do. Because our government, we got some person out there that's masquerading as somebody, and if we want to get him, we can get him once every 4 years, but that's never going to happen. So we don't get anything answered at our level ever. If I'm in the county and I'm holding you responsible, I'm going to make you the man, okay? I'm going to hold you responsible, and I'm collecting these other people's money, and you live among us. Odds are you're going to really do the best job you can, because you're going to be accountable for that money and the results. If you don't get the results, guess what happens? Bingo, you're gone, and you're not coming back again. So that is done at the county level, and if you do that, you've eliminated, in the United States of America, you've eliminated automatically 8 million bureaucrats that are on your payroll, by the way. And if they average $1,000 a week pay, which they do, 8 million times 1,000 is how much? 8 billion a week. You save 8 billion a week, that's 400 billion a year. That's all money that could be in the county level. And the sheriff's the law, and everybody is at the county level, and when you do something, you don't have to go get a union guy to do it for you. You get a free labor person to do it for you. So everybody has a value of their labor. Everybody that's buying something knows what they're getting, because Joe over here does a better job than Bill, better job than Steve. If Steve charges you 10, he's going to charge you 12, he's going to charge you 15. That's a good deal. So everybody can pick what they want, their own value, get their own work done, and everybody's held accountable. And then you've got a president now who doesn't have anything to do, because everything's taken care of. And all he has to do now is keep the counties happy with each other and keep the foreigners happy with us. And if we have that, what else would you want? This is utopia right here, and government never was part of utopia, because all government can do is mess something up, make it harder, make it worse, make it shoddy. If you don't believe it, remember the Yugo that was around about 15 years ago, that car? That was a government car. They sold 3 of them. That's it. It fell apart down the road. Yeah. Wait till General Motors. General Motors is already having a problem. But you wait. You won't even be able to start the GM by the time the government gets through with it. So again, what I'm asking of y'all is to look into a futuristic view, not something that's been tried, proven wrong, proven. Everybody in this planet is in debt. There's a mountain so high you can't even get to the top. Everybody's in that debt. Any dollar I pass to you is somebody else's debt. They had to borrow it from the Federal Reserve. And Bernanke's sitting there, got another one. And they took all of our gold. They take if you ever look at your mortgage on your house or your deed on your property, you're a trustee. You don't own it. You're just a trustee. When the government doesn't make its payments, as you go back, if you look at Roosevelt's speech, all of our property is put up as a mortgage against the debt, the national debt. They're going to come and take all the property if they haven't already taken. In Texas, if we have natural law, local government with a figurehead president, eliminate all the health departments, eliminate everything, have it done privately at the county level, how much more efficient will it be? 1,000% at least. Yeah, at least that, because the minute I hire you in the government position, not only am I hiring you today, but when you retire, I still got to keep paying you until you die. I got to rob everybody in here to pay until he dies. And then if you come back to work, I can still pay you extra on top of your retirement. That's what they do with lawyers and judges, by the way. Okay? So in this new Texas that I envision, and this is, I'm still with you, right? Because I was brought in to help John with things. This is his vision as well, and I can't speak totally for him, but this is a minimal government for what would be the most prosperous country on the planet, where everybody's free. There are no direct taxes. They can't tax your income. They can't tax your property. They can't do this. They can't do that. No liens on your property. Nobody has to take your property except by due process. And the only way due process is that because the law is at the county level. And if I pay you for your house and you don't give it to me, I'm going to get it because I paid you. Everything's an equal exchange. That's the only way your property can be taken. Can't be taken because the right of ownership is what makes everything work. I'm just going to beat the bush if I keep on going, but that's the key. I can give you what I did. I have to tell you, I bought no less than 20 books. From Steve Berryman, I'm sure 20 cassettes that I got from you. Yeah, and they're little nifty things. Freedom Matters. He's got a series of these. You probably want to check into them if you're interested in this, because it comes up with the framework how this can all happen. And it's the sad part about this thing is it's common sense. The sad part about that is most of us don't have any anymore, because we've been weaned from the minute we came out of the womb. We've been told things that aren't true, but everybody agrees that they are. We were smart enough to catch that the tooth fairy wasn't real, and we were smart enough to figure out Santa Claus. But we've been going to their schools and we can't figure out what they've been telling us, that it's all bogus. So once we get behind the research and look up the data and have a format to put it in, and then have historical validity of societies, we don't need government anymore if we have a free market. We have societies that have prospered and prospered and prospered. And they lost their prosperity when they got lazy and turned everything over to the government to handle. And it doesn't take government. Like if we did this Texas and everything happened in Texas, in 15 years it'd be back to where it is now. If we did anything other than free market. So with that, I'll thank you for your time. It was a pleasure. And I feel, I don't feel competent to really relay all this stuff to you because it's more than I can express. But I've been awake night and day trying to get this thing done. I whittled it down from 68 pages to 20 pages to no pages because I was worn out. Probably did anyway. But the truth is, there is hope. The hope is that, like everything, we have to know the rules. And the rules were put here by our Creator. And our Creator created us in His image. And I don't know that He's a he or a she or an it, but we are all creators, and He put us on this planet to create. And He wants us to be free because that's what He says. I'm a God of love, and love is freedom. The vilest crime on this planet is slavery. And slavery is taking your property without your permission, no matter what it is. So, have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. And if you want to know more about this, Senator Wilson and I are setting up a weekly, at this moment, it is a webinar that we're going to do on the internet, so we can bring step by step by step by step to save you the trouble of having to read all those books and get confused when the truth is really simple. Every time that man has been free and can own his property, everything gets thrived. The minute it stops is when they start stealing from you because you didn't lose your motivation. And they take from me to give to somebody who's not working. Now we're mad, we're fighting, now we need somebody to fight, mediate between us. So if I can understand this concept and put it into practice, we won't take 3,000 years of history and do it over again. We'll take 3,000 years of history and do it right. Okay? Thank you much, people. I appreciate it. Thanks. And this is my sign. Freedom needs courageous individuals standing apart from the mob, stating unconventional truth. We're not allowed to tell the truth in America.